People are trying to make a big deal out of Brittany Griner's dunk in the All-Star game, and let's just ignore the fact that this would be the least exciting dunk ever seen in a men's JV game. But this is super irresponsible of her, because don't you think you'd stay away from traveling like this after everything she's experienced?
Brittany Griner said she could beat DeMarcus Cousins in one-on-one, and then they went around asking a bunch of NBA players. The head coach of the UConn girls.
So, something crazy just happened. Brittany Griner is officially hinting at a potential move to the NBA. And no, this isn't just a throwaway comment or a random soundbite. It's coming right at a time when her career is surrounded by massive debates, headlines, and non-stop online chatter. Griner has always been no stranger to controversy, but this moment might be the biggest turning point yet. Fans are asking tough questions. Is this NBA move her boldest power play yet? Or is it simply the next natural step in her career? One thing's for sure, the spotlight on Brittany has never been brighter, and the basketball world is watching every move she makes.
Shocked the basketball world, Brittany Griner has walked away from the game she once dominated, citing a relentless wave of public hate and emotional exhaustion as the final straw.
Now, let's not pretend this came out of nowhere. Just last week, Brittany Griner was already sparking headlines with what looked like a major sponsorship pivot. Her team dropped 3 cryptic messages, all centered around elite competition and leveling the playing field. At first, nobody thought much of it, but then the internet started buzzing, with fans digging up old interviews and comments that suddenly sound a lot different in hindsight. That one clip in particular has gone viral. A sideline interview where Griner slipped and said, "If I was in the NBA," before quickly catching herself. At the time, it barely raised eyebrows, but now, fans are replaying that moment as if it was a hidden clue. And that's not the only one. In another interview, she casually mentioned that everyone should be allowed to play ball. For some, those words didn't mean much back then, but now, in light of all the speculation, the sports world is connecting the dots and wondering if Brittany has been hinting at a bold career shift all along.
Everyone deserves the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats, and feel safe and not feel like there's a threat or they can't be who they are. Definitely will be speaking up against that legislation and those laws that are trying to be passed, for sure.
At the time, it just seemed like Brittany was advocating for athletes of all backgrounds and orientations to have the chance to compete. But now, fans are revisiting those words with a whole new perspective, asking if she was already signaling a shocking move like switching to the NBA. And if that wasn't enough, the silence from the Atlanta Dream front office has only added fuel to the fire. They've stayed completely quiet. No comments about the rumors, no statements about the speculation, nothing at all. That silence has people online convinced there's more to the story than anyone is admitting. But here's where things really exploded. It wasn't even Brittany's own words that set the internet off. It was the actions of a former WNBA teammate. Out of nowhere, she unfollowed Brittany on every platform and reposted a cryptic message that read, "When the truth hits, they always pivot like it was part of the plan." That one post lit the internet on fire. Reddit threads went wild. NBA, TikTok started resurfacing old Brittany interviews. And suddenly fans were piecing together a narrative of their own. Now, nobody knows what's really going on behind the scenes, but the theories are stacking up fast. Was this all part of a bigger career move? Was Brittany dropping hints the whole time? Or are fans just connecting dots that were never really there? Either way, the conversation has taken over, and once again, Brittany Griner is at the center of the basketball world.
Everybody knows who Brittany Griner is, and if you don't know who Brittany Griner is, she is the WNBA star that we traded a weapons terrorist for about a year ago. And recently, a momentous personal occasion has happened for her.
You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling?
Pops.
Pops. Oh, let me get it together. About to be a pops.
Now look, man, it's 2024. I don't care if a woman and a woman want to have a kid together. Good on them. More power to them. But it's just so weird to me. You want your son to call you Pops, and whenever his friends ask, "What does your dad do for a living?" he's supposed to say, "Oh, he plays in the WNBA." Now, to make this even more confusing, Brittany Griner maintains that she is a biological woman and identifies as female. I don't know. Congratulations to Brittany Griner for bringing in a baby boy. I just think it's very fascinating how this human somehow finds a way to create controversy out of everything.
Even if there was any chance this whole situation would have faded away, the timing of it all takes things to a completely new level of speculation. Suddenly, this potential move to the NBA feels less like a natural career step and more like a calculated distraction, or, as some fans are suggesting, a possible exit strategy. Now, the big question everyone's debating is this. Was Brittany planning an NBA jump all along? Or is this a sudden pivot now that her WNBA chapter might be winding down? And here's where it gets even more complicated. Brittany's relationship with the WNBA has been under a microscope ever since the Russia situation. Yes, the league welcomed her back, posted tributes, and painted her return as a heroic comeback. But behind the applause, fans have noticed tension, inconsistencies, and whispers that things aren't as picture-perfect as they seemed.
It was nice to be back on the court in a real game and everything. The love from the fans when I came out was amazing. The players, I definitely feel it. I appreciate everything a little bit more. All the little small moments that I used to just like, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I don't want to go to practice today, or oh, this, that. I think that has changed, honestly. Just appreciating everything, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. You don't know what it's going to look like. So I think that's kind of how it changed a little bit.
But behind the scenes, there were real fractures.
Behind the scenes, though, there have always been whispers of real fractures. Multiple insiders and fans online have pointed out that there was tension over how much media attention Brittany received. Some even felt like she was being pushed as the league's face, even during seasons where her on-court performance wasn't at its peak. So when rumors started bubbling up, people weren't shocked that the league stayed quiet. They didn't rush to spin the story. They didn't put out heavy PR statements. They just went silent. And for many fans, that silence spoke louder than anything else. But here's where it gets wild. Brittany Griner's camp hasn't just hinted at the idea of competing against men. There are now unverified reports and online speculation that conversations may have already started with NBA organizations. Names like the Houston Rockets and the Charlotte Hornets have even been tossed around in fan discussions, sparking debates about whether scrimmages or exhibition runs could actually happen.
Brittany Griner said she could beat DeMarcus Cousins in one-on-one. And then they went around asking a bunch of NBA players. The head coach of the UConn girls, Gene, I can't remember his last name.
Oriema?
Yeah. He said, if there's no ref and they're playing one-on-one, I'm selling my house, I'm taking all my money out of my bank accounts, and I'm putting it all on DeMarcus Cousins.
What makes this so interesting is that they're not talking full contracts or exhibition tours just yet, just scrimmages. Why does that matter? Because scrimmage participation isn't about money, it's about optics. No contract means no liability, no risk, but if it lands with fans and sparks enough buzz, that could be the green light for something much bigger. And Brittany knows it. But here's the real question fans keep asking. Why now? Why step into the NBA spotlight at this moment when the risk of failure or humiliation is so high? Unless, of course, there's something about her current WNBA situation that makes this move look like the smarter play. Because here's the thing, scrimmaging against men isn't new. Elite female players have done it for decades. But turning that into a full-blown public career shift, that's not just about proving yourself on the court. Too many fans, it feels like a bold gamble, or maybe even a way to change the narrative entirely.
I'm glad she's that confident in her abilities. It's also a little delusional. It's not a walk in the park over here.
I'm just gonna use that to fuel this. I mean, I'm better, but it's okay. It's okay, little man.
Like the confidence beat you, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. I got cuz on that one.
If there's no referee, I'm gonna go to the ATM and I'm gonna sell my house and I'm gonna put all my money on DeMarcus Cousins.
And just when things started to cool down, another rumor hit the internet. This time, it was a supposed voice note circulating online, allegedly from a WNBA staff meeting, where a coach was heard referring to Brittany as damaged optics in motion. Now, whether that clip is real or not is still up for debate, but it set social media on fire. What really fanned the flames, though, was the sudden silence from her inner circle. Her former agent quietly unfollowed her, wiped old promo posts, and even removed her from their featured roster. Fans took that as a major red flag, asking if something big just cracked behind the scenes. So, what's the NBA saying? Officially, nothing. But according to chatter from sports journalists and insiders, there's curiosity, not commitment. One league source even suggested Griner's proposal felt more like a PR reset than a genuine pitch. And honestly, that makes sense. Because right now, people aren't talking about her stat lines, they're talking about her headlines. And that's the split. Some fans see her as brave, breaking barriers and rewriting history. Others say if you're truly good enough, you don't need smoke and mirrors. Put it all together, and this saga is starting to feel less like competition and more like theater. But before we go any deeper, we need to talk about Brittany Griner's media strategy through all of this, because that might be the biggest clue to what's really going on.
I want to walk on the court, and it hit me hard, you know? So just looking forward to all those moments, just walking in on the first home game.
I played in front of everybody in one place, honestly, since like high school, honestly. So just having everybody here right now.
In the last 48 hours, they've done everything to make this move.
In the last 48 hours, Brittany Griner's camp has done everything possible to make this move feel palatable to fans. From announcing a new competitive revaluation, to resurfacing old clips of her dunking on male players, to even teasing what looks like a behind-the-scenes docuseries about her next chapter. The rollout is hard to miss. Rumors online suggest that a full documentary might already be in post-production, and some fans believe Brittany is quietly doing soft promo. To set the stage, that would explain why her name has been buzzing so much lately, and why her recent interview with Cam Newton caught so much attention. In that conversation, the theme was clear. Brittany was positioning herself as more relatable, more human, and more marketable. Even the interview's title about speaking her truth fueled speculation that this was all part of a carefully crafted media reset. Sitting across from Cam, Brittany leaned into a down-to-earth persona, and whether intentional or not, it looked like a preview of how her team wants the public to see her moving forward.
Originally from Houston,
Yes.
H-Town,
Born and raised.
right? How was that growing up in the city of Houston for you?
I mean, it was pretty easy at first. You know, I wasn't into sports really at first. I was an active kid, but like I was climbing trees, riding bikes, skating, all that. But I wasn't into basketball just yet. Grew up with my parents, and you know, they did their best to make sure I was on the straight path. But it was cool. It got hectic once I got to high school, and that dunk video came out. That's when life kind of started changing.
Right.
Yeah.
All of this does raise the question, is this move about redemption, rebranding, or something else entirely that we haven't seen yet? Online chatter blew up after an anonymous post claimed that when someone asked, is she really moving to the NBA? The reply was, she's not moving. She's deflecting. That hit differently because deflecting suggests there's something bigger in the background, something that might explain why she'd step away from the very league that built her career. And if that's true, it could shake the WNBA at its core. Speaking of the league, their silence has been louder than any statement. No press releases, no denials of the NBA rumors, no effort to control the narrative. To fans, that silence looks like the WNBA may be stepping back, letting the story play out on its own terms. So the real question isn't just about where Brittany might be going, it's about what she's leaving behind. With rumors of sealed files, unconfirmed leaks, and even talk of a streaming deal already in the works. Some are calling this less of a scandal and more of a soft exit disguised as a career move. And until the full story comes to light, fans are left debating. Is this Brittany Griner's biggest power play yet, or the quietest exit strategy basketball has ever seen?